2009 Audi A5. It's got a coolant leak. The belt slipped off. We'll be replacing this crossover pipe. This one right here, where the sensor is located. And right beneath that is it's called a coolant flange. It connects to this radiator hose down here, and then to the block, to the front of the block. And then let's begin. We don't have to really drain the coolant. We'll just let it all leak out. Make sure you have a pan. And then let's go. We need a T30. Remove this upper cover. Let's begin. Well, we're removing this cover because we gotta remove this piece. So mix up your bolts. Alright, so that it's T25. All this crap is plastic, so over time it's just gonna leak. See right here, you can see it. It's dried up pink coolant. Yeah, the thermostat's seeping, but a lot of the time it's that flange right behind this pipe, and we're replacing this pipe because the belt rubbed against it right here, so we have to change that. Vacuum pump usually leaks right here. We're not touching that. They say in the service manual to put the front end in service mode, which is to remove literally everything, the bumper and all that, and slide this back, or slide this forward, I should say. It's easier to access the bolts that go down in here, but we're gonna do without that. What else? That's about it. So we'll remove this little line right here. It's a breather line. Here's the system out, any bubbles or whatnot. Alright, let's get at it. Alright, so flat blade. Put it in here. Let's pry this back slow. Let it leak out. This out. Put this back. This. Remove your hose clamp. Push this over to the side. Oops. I didn't remove that lower belly band cover because they had it all zip tied, self tappers. It's not a big deal. I'll be washing this motor anyways once I'm done. Now since we have that removed, we're gonna remove this upper radiator hose right here. So same concept, flat blade screwdriver. Not sure if you can see. Move the clip, pull it back. Same goes on this one, radiator. Let's pull it up. Now, these are tight fits, so grab yourself a little prying tool. Get behind here. Just pry it. There we go. Make sure. Alright, let's get that. Same goes on the radiator side. This one should probably come off easy. Some leverage. Okay, maybe not. It's tight. Just be careful with your radiator. You know what? We're gonna leave this aside here, just like that. It should be fine. Alright. So we have that removed. There's this lower clamp down here, which we'll have to remove. Grab yourself one of these. don't know what the hell these things are called. Spring clamp. Tool or whatnot. Just place it over onto this. Just like that. Just lock it in place. Swing it downwards. Now, we should have probably removed that power steering pulley, but it'll be fine. Just push it down as far as you could. Just like that. Got some coolant. We'll do the same thing for the upper one right here, where this crossover goes to the thermostat. Let's remove these connectors. Also remove the connector from your flap, intake manifold flap running air solenoid. Let's move this line too. Just like that, place it right there. Now we're gonna need to remove this clamp. This lower one right here. Grab yourself a pry bar, hammer, and just gently tap like that. Come right out. Now we could also remove that lower one at the same time. Now this one's gonna have a lot of coolant because it goes directly to the block. Just like that. Same thing. Pry bar. The lip of the hose. There we go. Ah, man. Could have drained the coolant, but whatever. Regardless, it would have made a mess. Alright. Let's put the clamp back on so we don't lose it. Stuff right there. Okay. So now that it's leaking out. Grab yourself another one of these. If you have, if not, you can just use the other one. You get these pretty cheap. Harbor Freight sells them. Got that one at that one I got on Amazon for about 20 bucks. Who else sells them? AutoZone also sells them. Let's use this one down here. This is a little better. It's not as worn out, so just do that. Lock this place. There we go. Grab yourself a screwdriver. get it off that. Now this is a lot easier if you remove the intake manifold and then also replace the thermostat, but this person doesn't want to replace the thermostat, so leave it at that. Ah, man, that hurt. Let's get this off. Stuck. There we go. Now it's loose. Now this is going to be a pain in the ass to put back in, since we have to line up that one down there, and also this one, kind of flip them in and over. Obviously it's easier to remove it. We'll be able to do it, it's not a problem. Okay, so now you need T30. You can use a regular ratchet. We'll use this with an extension. Let's see if we'll be able to get to it. It's a little tight, but one right above, right below the vacuum pump. Alright, so you need a magnet. Always have a magnet handy. Cold today, 20 degrees. Put that around the side. Alright, so let's switch this up a little bit. Let's grab this with a stubby. See if this works. Yeah, that works better. Alright, so that's that. Now, it's basically all that's holding it. Just pry this back. Grab yourself some WD-40. Spray it in these hoses. Just kind of lubricate it, makes it easier. Let's take it out, put it back in. Same thing with that bottom one. If you could reach it, spray it. Big deal. Just gonna get it in there. Oh, get it in there. Let's spread this open. Spray it down. Just work it around. So now, pry this out. This way. It's stuck here somewhere now. It's weird. I don't know why. Usually it comes right out, but not this time. Alright, so we have to do in this case is release the clamp on that lower hose. It's obviously not going to come out. This is my first time doing this without removing the thermostat, so we'll see what happens. Actually, completely forgot to remove the water pump pulley. Yikes. See that? On camera we make mistakes. Alright, so let's put this back in. Just like that. Sometimes what works is to loosen this up since it moves around. Grab yourself one of these little screwdrivers. Put it right in between. And it loosens it up. Just like that. These aren't all that tight. This one I loosened up already. Same goes here. If you use anything, it doesn't have to be a screwdriver. Just watch your face. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass, but there we go. So, screwdriver. And this is a what is this? It's a Blue Point PXZ and M3810, so I'm assuming that's a M10 triple square. Anywho, let's get to this. Now obviously if I would have pulled the front end it would have been easier, but it makes no difference, to be honest. There's plenty of room right there. Just get this off. And also remove this pulley before you take off your serpentine belt. In my case, this belt fell off. Just grab yourself a little pry bar. Just slightly pull it off. Just like that. Now you gotta be careful because these are really hard to get. They do bend easy. They're really flimsy. Whatever. Now let's get to this. Now let's this pipe. Let's get down just like that. Alright, so we have to drop down that hose. Loosen that clamp. Just drop it down. Since this this one is a pain in the ass because of the power steering pulley, but it definitely is manageable. So let's try it out. Just like that. Clamp it up. Alright. Now since that's there, let's slide that hose as far down as possible. It's gonna be tight, but now, it won't go too far, maybe about a ½ an inch, but if it moves. This thing's been sitting there for a while, so now removing the pump won't help, as the top of this crossover pipe actually hits the top of the cylinder head right here. So I mean, the only way we do it is I guess removing the front end, or moving stuff around just like that. See how it pops out? Let's get this from underneath here. It's a bit of work, but it comes out. Usually this just slides out, but I guess not this time. Just like that, bam. Now this is what I was talking about right here. How it's the belt rolled over it and basically weakens it up. You know what happens after that? Summertime comes, the heat, and bye bye. Now since we have that hose removed, we're gonna try to get it off of that lower pipe down there. Right down the side of here. Get this off and see if we could slide it down. Just gotta get the top clamp off. Now I replaced those clamps with regular hose clamps. Once you tighten down with a screwdriver, just makes it easier. This one, get that off, and then this one. Pull it off. Alright, so there we go, that's it. Coolant's slippery enough, but I mean you could use some WD-40, spray it down. Now let's go pick out some hose clamps. These will work. It's 11/16 to 1.25 inches. That should work just fine. 2 of those. Now you do have to remember the belt gets pretty close to these, so they're gonna have to be at an angle. It's not that big of a deal. You could always move them over, but we'll see, right? One should be somewhere about there. Other one about the same thing. Let's push this down. Okay, so now we're on to that. We have to remove this flange. So right here it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it has 5 or 6 bolts that hold it. They've also got T30s, so you can use this. Sorry, that's not a T30. This is a T30. And with this one, use a ratchet, regular handheld ratchet. so that we can break them loose. Grab your handy dandy ratchet. Put the screwdriver away. And magnet. We will be needing these. Make sure it's sliding off. Get that one out, boy. That's right there. Off. Grab your magnet. Even with a magnet, it fell. Let's grab that, pick that up. Now we'll mix these up. They are different lengths. Well, these are gonna be all the same, and then the crossover pipes are different. They have washers on them. It's 5 of them. I'm assuming that's. Sorry, see, there is one more right in the center. Right here in the center, right there. Okay. That's pretty tight. Rusty you got. So that's 6. So there's supposed to be 6 of them. Just pry this off with a pry bar. You can do it by hand. Whatever. See? You can tell it's been leaking. It's all dry coolant and oil. So see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just like that in front, so these are a little hard to get to. But I mean, you can manage. On the side. Get your gasket off. Now, to clean all this off, can run it over with the razor, get some of the built-on corrosion off, and then I use these green Scotch Brights. They're amazing, especially that because it's aluminum. Don't use no sandpaper. I mean, if you use sandpaper, you could use 1200 grit. Should work just fine. Okay. Alright, so clean this up with a razor. Just kinda doesn't seem too bad. So, where was it? Inside the third clean up as much as you can. As long as where the gasket sits, it's clean, should be fine. These are new parts. Original Volkswagen, Audi. Slap this bad boy on first. Now I like to use some silicone paste. This kind of helps the rubber gasket sit a little better. Remember your screws. Let's start. All in by hand. It's better if you don't have coolant on your hands. It's a lot easier. Just like that. Let's get this last one started. Handy dandy ratchet. snug them up. Won't over tighten them. I don't know what the torque specs on these are. Probably like 8 foot-pounds or something like that. Just snug it up. Make sure you tighten all 6 down. Just go over and double check them, make sure they're defined. Alright, good. I'll grab some of the silicone paste and I'll put it on cylinder heads where the crossover pipe meets or bolts up to. Kind of helps the ceiling O-ring fit a little better. Put some here. Pipe. Alright, so now this we have to be careful so we don't drop these. Let's slide it in. This. We gotta get that lower nipple. Get this lower nipple onto that hose. So what we'll do is take this down as much as possible. Kind of grab yourself a flathead and just work it out. In. See how it's in there. Raise this up. Gotta get it out from the thing. Grab yourself another flathead. Just gotta work this hose back on. That's it. Remember I told you I'm putting regular clamps, so as you can see we have regular clamps. Hose is on. Grab yourself a flashlight. Make sure your O-rings didn't fall over or twist. Fall off, I mean. Okay. Grab yourself an extension, longer T30. Started it. Freaking coolant makes everything slippery. Alright, so let's get the second one. Put it down. So put that started, grab the other two. And let's put those two on. This one. And two. Snug him down with this. Let's switch this over. snug it up. Switch it over. Oops, I need that extension. Extension. Same thing. These are about, I think, like 8 foot-pounds. Just gotta snug them up. I don't know exactly how tight they're supposed to be. I couldn't find the torque specs for this for some reason. I'm more of a DIY mechanic. Take that. Let's tighten this side. Now what you could do is spray some WD-40 at the ends. Lube up the part where the hoses connect. Grab your lower hose. Let's go put it out. Nice. Put it out. Clips in, it's in. Same as with the top one. On. And same thing with this. Just kinda helps the whole ring slide on a little easier. There we go. Now let's grab one of these. Hose clamp back in. Just like that. Just like it was. Alright, so wrap yourself extension with an 8mm. Lift up the hose clamp, tighten it down by hand. Just kind of feel it out. Tighten it down as much as you could by hand. So just gotta play around with it a little bit. Once we put the belt on, we'll tighten it up easier. So once you have your belt on, it's pretty easy to put the belt on. You just find the diagram on Google. My camera died, so I wasn't able to record it, but just go put this all back together. Coolant lines, so you got that line, and grab your M10 triple square. Just nice. Tighten it up. Just like that. Put these on. Let's grab the coolant sensor. Now, I usually buy new sensors, but my parts guy didn't have them, so we're gonna clean this up a little bit. It's gotta play. Could always replace it in the future. Not too bad. Put the new O-ring on. Some silicone paste. Forget your clip. Slide it in there. Clip on top. Connect it. Make sure it's sitting. Now, before we pour coolant, just turn it over, start it. Make sure that the belt is in the correct spot. Just give it a quick. And then seems to be fine. So you follow coolant. It's 13. 50 minutes. Make sure nothing's leaking. Pipe.